Yesterdays. That's what I've gotten.
Please take one of each. No one's coming in now.
Name 10.
So Sharpies are still up here with all the colored pencils and everything else. You're going to grab whatever you want to make your name tent. One of each, dude. You're going to need one of these. You're going to need one of these note cards as well. There you go. Your first objective is to make a name tent that has first name and last name on front and back. Use highlighters, Sharpies, whatever you want. This is your first objective of today.
Can I draw email on it?
Your name. Nobody else's name, just your name.
Look. What a coincidence. Yas.
Actually, sorry, I lied. Your first objective, your 0th objective, is always check your plan book. So, in every classroom, there should be somewhere your homework's posted. We talked about my homework board's right over there, so you guys are Math 7. Your homework is 1-3 to 1-6. So, essentially, problems 3, 4, 5, and 6. You have 4 homework problems. 1-3 to 1-6. We want to label them 1 dash because they are from chapter 1. Look at this. So you're going to start my chart. Right here. Then come my second.
I too am confused.
Must. It's gone forever, never left. So you can do this during AO or whatever.
But for now.
First, and we'll see you next.
Oh, I'm supposed to go to ELA.
Yeah, the math journal. Yep. So your name tag, you're going to need to keep track of for at least a week. We should have groups. Who? Who should we have? FGHIJ, I think. Is that maybe right?
Sounds like it.
FGHIJ. So everyone in here should be FGHIJ. Okay? Good. We might have to do a little bit of finagling. We got to see once Creative Start gets back. If our groups pan out the right size, we're going to have to move some people. So, first and last name on front and back, whether you go wide or tall with your name tent is up to you. Please make sure that you've got your plan book filled out and that we're making a name tent. Please make your name big enough that I can see it from a slight distance. Yep.
First and last name.
First and last name, front and back. Being excessive. So if I'm walking around the room, there's no bad angle. Then, for my overachievers, we're going to end up writing down the name of our teammates. So, once your teammates have their name tents done, you know who they are, and you can go ahead and write them down. This is going to be your team for at least the remainder of this week. We're going to change teams up quite frequently, but just so we start to get comfortable with the teaming and everything else, this will be your team for the week. So we're going to wait until our friends. What creative start are you guys in? Just curious. You guys coming in, what creative start? Art. I'm going to talk to Miss Whitlatch. She can't send you guys this. Did you guys have locker issues, or did you go out of creative start late?
My friend had locker issues.
You guys should be getting out of creative start right about 9 o'clock. So, guys that just showed up, objective 1 is always plan book. So, everybody in here for Tuesday in math. What was your homework yesterday, by the way? Paper bags. So, if you brought paper bags, we have a stack. I'm going to go pause this now. A lot of times I'll have music on as you guys come in just to make it enjoyable. So, you should have in yesterday's slot for your plan book, paper bags. And in today's slot should be 1-3 to 1-6. And you can write the word like 2. I'm having an issue because I used to put like dashes between for like problem 5 through 17. And now I can't because these problems are laid out with dashes. So, our next objective is going to be to get everybody a textbook. So you can still keep working on your name tents. You could decorate your name tent with like some symbols or some pictures, or please make sure I can still see your name. You can decorate it however you want. And you're going to have this on your desk for a while. Probably at least this week and then to start next week with our new teams. So, textbooks, when I call your name, just go ahead and grab the textbook from back there on the shelf. We're going to use it today in class, but then we're going to leave them here because until they're covered, they cannot leave my classroom. So we're going to use them today, but then put them back and leave them here. If you need it during AOR extensions, you can come and grab it from my room. So, Annika? I'm saying that wrong, probably. Annika. So just the long end sound. You are going to be textbook number 1, actually. Ooh, ah. Allison. You are going to be textbook number 2. So go ahead back there and grab it. Once you have your textbook, sorry guys, go ahead and give me your attention up on the board for a second. Once you have your textbook, inside the front cover, I'll show you this now since everyone's going to then get their textbooks. You want to write your name for issue 2 on the first line, not in pencil, not in Sharpie, because Sharpie is probably too fat. So using a pen, year used is going to be 17 to 18. So now I don't know if this book's actually going to stay my book, but if this was me, that's what I'm going to write in pencil. First name, last name, Micah Hudson, 17, 18 is my year used. So once you get your textbook, please go ahead and do that. Emily, you're going to be textbook 3. Zoe, you're going to be textbook 4. Browning, your textbook 3. Burns, your textbook 5. You cool with that? You're straight. We have 2. I'm going to pause this. Don't worry about the book as property and stuff. I may end up with some stickers that we need to put on in here. Right now, all that you need to worry about is first name, last name, 17, 18 year, and then it was issued brand new. Cool. All right, so in your math journal, give me a second to switch over to math journal. By the way, once you're in math class, my advice would be don't keep your binder on your desk. I would get out your math journal, get out your toolkit, and then stick everything else on the floor. And like obviously have out a pencil or whatever. That would be my best advice for you. So in your math journal, let's go ahead and date at the top of our page. So in your math journal, so not the toolkit, your personal math journal, your notebook. I know I need to go get their math journal. It's okay, we're getting used to this stuff. It should be with you, but if it's not, go get it. So we're talking about your spiral or composition or whatever, not the toolkit, not the student workbook. We're talking about our math journal. I see some people with their toolkit as long as they have. Yeah, what's up, Wyatt?
I was toolkit or
No, we don't need the toolkit right now, so you just need your journal.
I wasn't here for a couple.
Oh, you weren't here to get the toolkit.
The first page or first page?
Oh, we'll get you caught up on the math journal. Just leave a couple pages blank. This, let's get you a Sharpie. You want first name and last name on the outside and inside of the cover. So I have a lot of people write their name here and then put it on the inside too. So in your math journal, on the page that you've now dated 8/22, whether you start a new page or you just change the date up in the column, if you want to, this was just like my personal notes as I was going, I knew that we were going to make name 10. Don't lose your name 10. If you do, just be honest and come get a new one. Like not get a new one, make a new one. By the way, guys, I'm going to remind this direction because I have some people that are like halfway there. Your first and last name should be on the front and back of the name 10. So those of you that only did it on one side, let's get it on the other side. In your math journal, this is not optional. The whole name 10 thing, that's optional. In your math journal, write down your textbook number. My number right now that I'm using is 63. Yours is not. Yours will be something between 1 and 23. If you want to jot it down so you have it in multiple places, our homework tonight is 1-3 to 1-6. Then take a minute to write down the names of your teammates. So I made up my teammates. Those are actually the first names of your other teachers. Tony Cabilo, Robert Estes, Amanda Pettigrew. You know Mr. Smith's first name? Colin. You want to know my first name? Yeah, I just showed it to you. My name is weird. It's from the Bible. So write down your teammates' names. This really will help you. I do this when I go to professional meetings. It will help ingrain it in your memory. So if your teammate's name tag is not obvious enough for you to write down their name, that's a them problem. You got to help them fix their name tag. All right, you can spend more time decorating your name tag and everything else like that later. You don't even have to put that part if you don't want. The biggest thing is to have your textbook number. And then writing on your teammates. All right, let's crack open these textbooks. So, just like your toolkit, the first thing that you'll see with the textbook is we have a table of contents. So, if we today are on 111, Finding Shared and Unique Characteristics, we're going to go to page 3. Page 3 will not actually be the third page. We get to here, Introduction and Probability, and we come here. Now, I'm going to swap over to the digital version so this doesn't have to keep focusing. All of the textbooks are available online as well as your physical version. So don't ever freak out if you don't have your textbook and you need it, like we can get it to you. So this is exactly what your textbook has there on page 3. But if we go to the opening, it'll tell you what we're going to talk about in this chapter. Skim that for a minute. Then I'm going to ask if anyone wants to give me a brief little what we're going to talk about. So go ahead and read page 2, the intro and probability. Beyond just starting the school year, what's this chapter about? Grant, what do you think? Learning probability and what it is. The biggest thing I want you to see, look over on the right-hand side of the page, those guiding questions. So what we're really talking about in this chapter, what our objectives are. How can I work with a team to figure out problems? Essentially using your resources. Your teammates are your resources. What questions can I ask about this problem? So how do I pose questions about this problem? How can I represent this, either visually with a model, mathematically with number symbols, different things like that? And how can I organize my work? So getting used to keeping that math journal, getting used to working with the toolkit, being organized with our solutions. So that's our guiding questions for the chapter. That's our objectives here. So we are going to be finding the likelihood that an event will occur. Like we knew that the eclipse was going to occur. This was predicted. Now, still, we could argue it wasn't 100%. We couldn't say definitively a plane won't knock into the moon and whatever, but we knew it was very, very likely. Notice the breakdown, section 1.1 versus 1.2. So chapter 1 is your first number. Your second number is what section? So section 1.1 is big ideas for the course and kind of teamwork. 1.2 digs into probability. So let's look over at 1.1.1, page 3. Anyone want to read for us? Anyone a good out loud reader? Yeah, Grant, you want to read this first paragraph that had you ever?
Have you ever tried to learn how to play a new game just by watching other people play? We're probably watching for patterns in the game, such as what player did to earn points, or what actions earn penalties. If you were watching a game of soccer, for example, you might have figured out that kicking the ball into the goal earns the team 1 point. You might also notice that the goalkeeper is the only player on the field allowed to use a real hand. Noticing the patterns can help you describe some of the rules of the game. This type of observation is also called
Generalizing. Yeah, it's a tough one. Generalizing.
When you make an observation about the objects or actions you have in common, like the actions that will always allow you to score points in soccer, you are making it a
Generalization. That one's really hard. So in our math journal, we might maybe, and I can actually zoom and make this a little bit bigger, sorry I forgot. This zooms really well online. I love it. They've set up this website very well. You might, in your math journal, just as a clue word to kind of like trigger your brain, we're in 1.1.1 actually. So go ahead and label that we're in 1.1.1. So we're going to be using our textbook alongside with our math book. This is how we used to do it way back in the olden days, back when we had torches on the walls. I'm joking, trying to pull in some of that story from yesterday. All you had was like a book in your notebook, and you like didn't need anything else. You had your peers to help you learn. But we might write like games is what we're talking about here. And this really hard word, generalizing. And that's really like looking for patterns. So when we generalize, we're kind of taking a pattern that we've seen and saying, all right, I think I've got this figured out. Nobody on the field can use their hands except for the goal. When they score a point, score goes up by 1. These sort of things. So now we're going to talk, today we're going to be working in a team with the goals of making generalizations about sets of objects. So the first thing we're going to do is have you figure out generalizations about your group, you and your team. What makes you the same, what makes you different, and any other ways that we could describe characteristics, things like that. So, first thing we actually need to do, flip this page over to page 4. We need to determine some group roles or some team roles. So everyone look at page 4. We're going to look at team roles. So you should know all of your teammates' names, and hopefully you know your name. We are now going to place these items in order. No number line yet. We're just going alphabet. So if your name comes first, we're going to use first names first. If you have the same first initial, use your last name. Whoever's first versus last. If your name comes first alphabetically, so in my group that would have been Amanda, comes first alphabetically, you are now the resource manager. You as the resource manager should come up and get one of these resource pages with the star on it and a pair of scissors. So figure out who's your resource manager and have them come up and get the worksheet and the scissors. If your name comes second alphabetically, your role today is the group facilitator. So check out what the facilitator does. So you start the discussion, you kind of try to keep you on task. Make sure everyone's part of that discussion. You're facilitating group discussion. Hold on, stay with me for a second. I'm going to release you guys. Don't cut or anything else. Be careful, because when I went to do this, tried to do it wrong. Trust me. If your name comes third, you are... Hey guys, I'll wait for you, but if it's something that needs to be taken up with the group, it might be a whole class. Do we need to talk about it? Okay, because you were talking over me. Kind of rude. If you're third alphabetically, you are the official recorder reporter, which means if we are writing things down like on whiteboards or things like that, you would be recording it for the group. Some things we all write down in our math journals. Obviously, then everybody's writing it down. But recorder reporter, you would also report out for your group if we're going around and doing like share with the whole class. Then if your name comes fourth alphabetically, today you are the task manager. You are to keep everybody on task. And not in an annoying way like, hey, you're off task, hey, you're off task, hey, you're off. Like, no, that doesn't help. But the gentle, like, hey, make sure you're with us. Or like if somebody's looking at another group, hey, you're with our group. Like you are just that kind of gentle reminder. You can motivate your group, like, hey, let's go ahead and move on. Like this task, we're kind of getting stuck here. Let's skip over to the next thing. We can come back to this. Or like you can tell people to break things up. You can kind of help your group, your team, manage what you have to do. So those are our roles today. So flip on back to the previous page. Your task with that resource page that you should now have. Now be careful, this is where I tried to do this wrong. Fold the resource page along the dotted lines, cut on the solid. You're only cutting on the solid lines. Then unfold the cutout, and we'll eventually glue it to another piece of paper. We probably won't end up doing that today, but you're going to fold on the dotted lines. So you're going to fold on that T. So here, if you're confused at all, keep your eyes up here. We're going to fold this down, what do we call that? Hamburger style?
Yeah.
Then we'll do hot dog, but it's an awkward hot dog since I already hamburger. Right, and your stars should be on the outside. Yeah, I should have been clear. Your group just needs one of these. Then you may nominate whoever you think you trust to operate the scissors. We are trying to cut through all 4 pieces of paper. So with my star on the outside, in order to make like snowflakes, things like that. This might be reminiscent of making paper snowflakes. I'm cutting straight through all 4. So whoever you trust to operate your scissors. Notice the star does not have a point in every location. What? If your scissors really aren't working, we have some other sets. Some of those are kind of dull. Then I have some bigger sets. I think. Yeah, they got, some of my bigger sets got stolen. Here's a couple. Well, got used in like other classrooms and never made their way back. Science uses my stuff. In my room, just kind of have a lot of the resources. All right, how are we doing with cutting our stars? Everyone saw your fingers?
Yes.
The extra paper that you end up with should go where? The recycling, which lives right back here. So in case we missed it, recycling's here, trash is right over here, under the main table when you come in. Just tucked out of the way. When you get done, if you have successfully cut those out, you will be able to unfold it, and your stars will still be connected together. You should have 4 stars. Pretty much. You may, there are extras if yours got a little bit cut. You got to make sure that where this cut happens, you leave that little edge there. You got to leave that connected edge. Or you can, I mean, if you guys want to tape yours together, you can. You can start over, or you can just tape it. It's really okay. Because it's going to get glued on. It's going to get glued on another piece of paper. Right there. All right, so then, I'll let you guys keep going here in just a second. So then, back up with me for a second. Back up here. We're right here. Okay? So now, we're going to write each team member's name on the paper. I would ask you Nah, you can write your own. So it's in your handwriting. You write your own and just pass it around. Then, here's what we're doing. As a team, we're going to try to brainstorm. You got to discuss until you figure something out. Now, you can't be super lame like we're all in the 7th grade. That doesn't count. It cannot be a universal, like something that literally every 7th grader shares. It's like, we all go to Phoenix. That doesn't count. So as a team, brainstorm something that you all have in common that the rest of your class doesn't already know. We all already know you go to Phoenix. Right? So list your team's common attribute on the paper. And I'll come around with another sheet of paper, at least for now. I want to try to get colored paper, but I don't know if I have good colors up there. And then, on the contrary, find something that makes you each special. And put that on your star. Your individual star. So we'll put the commons on the piece of paper that we're going to bring around you, and the uniques on your star. So you can start talking about uniques first and kind of figure out your commonalities by doing that. Now, I'll leave it open. Your resource manager can come up and get a piece of colored paper of your team's choosing. Whatever color you choose. Ashley, here, what color do you guys want? Blue? I don't think there's purple.
He's doing that. You guys can put one star. Everybody gets a star.
I like purple, but I don't think we have it. What color do you guys want? What color do you guys want? Black will not work. You can't write on that. What color? You can't do black. You said that, Red.
Let's just say we all.
You really want black,
Yeah. Let's just say we all. Oh my gosh.
Oh, people. Sorry guys, I got held up. What color do you guys want? There isn't purple. There's blue, orange, green. We can do green. Green. Oh, I hear 2 oranges. 2 votes for orange. There we go. Alright, what color do you guys want? Like off white. What color do you guys want? What color would you guys like? Alright, so commonalities on that center paper, or on like the main paper. Commonalities on the main paper. Uniques on the stars. Guys, we're behind. Come on. We don't even have names on the stars. Okay, so what makes you guys special? What makes you unique? Good. That doesn't work. That's like a universal unique. Is anybody playing any certain sports? Doing anything outside of school that's cool? Any clubs that are outside of school? Like, talk about that stuff.
Do you guys play football? What I do I thought it was like baseball, basketball.
Forget when the solstice is. Hey, Mr. Smith, do you remember when the autumn solstice is? September something, right?
Yeah.
Gravity works. You got 2 more minutes for this. The things that you guys have in common go on that paper. Yeah, write them on the big paper. The things you guys have in common. Do not touch this yet. Do not touch this yet. Yeah, you can put as many as you want. Do not touch this yet. Do not touch this yet. Do not touch this. Alright, so we will come back to this activity. Here's what I'm going to request that we do with this. Take your big sheet and your stars. Sorry if you wrote this somewhere that this doesn't work out. Put your stars on one side of it. We're going to fold that in half so that your stars get contained inside the big sheet of paper. Cool? So hang on to that for now. For now, you just hang on to it. Alright. Focus back up here. We'll give you 20 seconds to get that taken care of. Then focus back up here. So I am a giant board game geek, and my buddy Dave has not had enough time. I wanted to make a little video of us like playing board games so you guys could try to figure out patterns or things like that. I've played every type of game there is. I mean, Munchkin, Dominion, you name it, I've probably played it. We can't go there now. Talk to me at lunch if you are a board game geek as well. But a lot of the times when Dave brings over a new game, because he like goes to Origins, he's super duper geek. He teaches 4th and 5th grade. So that's also why we get along so well. Every time he brings a new game over, he's like, it'd be easier if you just watch around first. Because it's a lot of times easiest to just observe and find things on your own, because then it means more to you. If I tell you the rules, I tell you what things have in common, it doesn't really matter. If you figure it out on your own, that's a lot more important. So the sets that you have on your desk are corresponding. They all have some things in common. So what we want to do, and this on your paper, that's going to be in your math journal, so everybody's going to be writing this down. So determine what each set has in common, and depending, each set is unique to itself, so as you change sets, you'll see what we're talking about. To record what that is, then give 2 new examples. So let's say that I start with set 5. So I would say, all right, so let's put like sets in your math journal over here. And I would put whatever set I start with. So let's say that's like number 5. And then I would put what they have in common. And you don't have to write this right now because you'll figure that out in a minute. Then 2 more examples. Of other things that would match the set. So you'll write what's the set number, gravity works, what they have in common, and give 2 more examples. I'm going to give you just under 5 minutes to do this. Your objective is to see how many sets can you get through. So obviously try to do the first one. But then if you get done with that, there's extra ones up here. So put your set back together, re-paperclip it, come back up, swap out for a different one. Try to keep figuring out what they have in common. Cool? We'll give you just under 5 minutes to take care of that. Okay, all the cards go together in the set. So pull off the paperclip, pull off the Post-it, check them out, start figuring out what do they have in common. They're all one thing, aren't they?
You can't do it.
Oh, no. He doesn't know. The one I used isn't active anymore either because there's no other somebody licenses for code. Then I move on to new code. You have to access the ebooks thing. For the ebooks thing, yeah. No, you write what it has. So, like, say they were all odd numbers. You could say all odd numbers. Obviously, doesn't work for you. You're writing what they have in common, and then you have two more examples of what. Like, if you were making more cards to add to the set, what? Does that make sense? Ooh, like it. Yeah, that's good. That's true, right? Like, that's a true statement. Yeah, those all go together. So you're figuring out what's common between all four of these cards. So like Patrick said, they're all coordinates. So they could all, what is a coordinate? That's describing. Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
Point on the graph. You could say they're all describing on the graph. And then you add two more examples of what could fit that set. And then if you're done, if you get those two examples, go up in the set, try it again.
So once we figure out what they have in common, two more examples that go with it. So you have that they're all even, right? Is 10 tenths. What is 10 tenths? If you have 10 tenths of something, you have one whole. But if you have one of something, is that even? Well, 100% means all of something. What is this number? That's not 1,000, actually. 1.00. And what is 4 over 4? So wait, we said this comes out to be 1. This comes out. 1 whole. Then, yeah, they're not all odd. So the thing they have in common is they all equal 1. So then add two more examples. So think of like another fraction that comes out to be 1. So what's another fraction that would come out to be 1? 3/3. There you go. 7 7. 19 19ths. Yeah.
All right. We have to wrap this up really quickly. So, resource manager, please collect the set of 4 cards. Please put the Post-it back on, the paperclip back on, and return them up here to this front table. Everybody else, and this is kind of a challenge, so I'm going to see how quick we do it versus how quick the next class does it. I want to see how fast we can all get our textbooks back on the shelf in order. Go. Resource managers, you're bringing me the cards back. Everybody else is putting the books in order. Thank you very much. Oh, you're going to bring them up here.
Hey, number 2. Hey, got book 2. Who needs here? Book 2. Here's book 2. He has 9. I have 9.
Good, Alex. Trying to get out of the mob. Then, once you are back at your desk, you want to get your math journal and your toolkit put back into your binder.
13.
Then once you're all back seated, I got one last announcement. Nice. I love it. Under a minute, nice.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the last thing while you're clipping your stuff away. You have homework tonight. That homework was in the textbook. I don't like making copies when I don't have to. However, I know some people have less AO or extensions time based on gym, or if you play sports. So, if you do not have a chance to get that done at school, you may get one of these. Check that it starts with 1, 3. There are 2 sets that are going to look similar. I will leave these on the back table by the textbooks. If at the end of AO or extensions or whatever you realize I'm not going to get this done today at school, take one of these home. Otherwise, try to use your textbook during AO or during extensions and just get that work taken care of. You may always, well, unless I say otherwise, you can always work in groups. So, you cannot write in the textbook, you can write in your workbook. Like your toolkit or the textbooks or school property. We can put Post-its and stuff in those, but don't write in the textbook. Those are your toolkits. Yeah, you can write in those. Yep. That's all I got for you today, guys. Get out of here. Have a good one. Keep your name tense. There should be a pocket in your binder. Stick it in your pocket. Yep, whenever. AO extensions, whenever.